Hey guys, I've been wanting to get back into this for a long time, but I have another YouTube running for my other business, which is Ubering. So if you want to check it out, I'm going to add the video into this video so you can subscribe to that channel as well. Um, so what I want to do here to give you a little brief info is I want to actually share my business experiences because I have taken a lot of decisions, and some of them were good, some of them were bad, but basically I have stopped running my business, and I want to tell you why. Because I have made a lot of mistakes along the way, and the thing is, everyone wants to talk about how to do things good, but I feel there's very few people out there who really go into detail about the things they've done wrong. And you know what? I have like zero shame right now. So I'm going to start this channel off and be like, this is what you should not do. Because for me, whenever you hear the good stuff, you're like, yeah, I can totally do that. But when you hear the bad stuff, it might actually, you know, if you are not the person to run a business and you think you are, this might actually stop you from going down that path before you find out, like, $20,000 into debt, that this is not your thing. As well, I think it's a lot easier to learn from mistakes when they're very explicitly clear in front of you. So that's what I'm going to do. And I want to start this first video off by talking about being a creative and going into business. So I myself started my business venture as a creative person. I had ideas to the nth degree. I had so many cool ideas. Basically, I wanted to open a cafe. And the start of my opening of my cafe was going to be my cookie business. And all of that changed along the way. Some things you can't learn by hearing other people say, but some things you can click into. And maybe if I share some of my experiences and the person I am, you can actually tap into that and be like, you know what, that's me. And actually, maybe I do need to like find someone else to do this with or whatever. So that's what I'm here for, okay? Me as a creative, okay? I had so many ideas that I wanted to make reality, and all that happened in my brain was me here and my idea. And all I did was see myself executing at the end. So when everything was successful. So if you've been in this situation, which you probably had, I think everyone, if you have an idea or not, you're always gonna like jump to the future, right? And put yourself in that position of like when you're making like hundreds of thousands of dollars, or you like have enough to buy your favorite car, whatever your motivation is, like you hold on to that so strong in your head, and that's what drives you, and it feels like the right kind of motivation. And in part it is, but in part it's really not enough. If you are creative like me and you have all these ideas, but you don't necessarily see the execution of them, like you don't play out those details, and when you have to actually sit down and like, market the shit out of your business, or you have to like crunch the numbers, or you have to like go to all these businesses and do them, like if you can't make that happen, or if that is so much of a struggle for you that it like outweighs the joys that you get from the job, or it's not really a job, right? It's your business, it's your baby. If that's not you, either the business life might not be for you, or you need to find other people. So that is where I'm coming from as a creative, and I just want to put it out there now to warn people, if that is the situation you are in, it hurts so much, because the other thing about creative people is like you don't ever want someone touching your ideas. You feel like they're so pure and they're so yours, and like nobody's gonna understand it until you're there, and you're gonna make it happen. And then when you're there, you have this beautiful cafe, or like you have this beautiful like I don't know, jewelry website, or you have this like really rad new like pop socket invention, whatever. Then everyone's gonna be like, oh, I didn't believe in you, and you're gonna be like, told you so. But the reality is, there is so much between you here starting a business and that. And some of that stuff might kill you. So where I came from, like I said, was a creative, and I really like was stubborn as shit. I did not want anyone to come into my business world. Like I believed honestly, I genuinely and wholly believed that I could start to finish, open and execute the running of a cafe all by myself. And what else? With my own money, which was like probably something like $30,000. And like, I don't even know how, it's so weird to talk about it where I am, because like I honestly believed that, and now I know that that is like so far from reality, but in my head it was such a conviction that like nothing could change that. I had this journal of like all my business plans and what it would look like. I just didn't know how to execute any of that, and yet somehow I still like couldn't let it go as something I wanted to share with people. Like I didn't want people to like touch the idea. I didn't want to get other people involved with their money because then they'd like have control. And like that really fucked me over. Like it just did. I fucked myself over. I screwed myself over because I was so stubborn about my ideas. And that's the part of me that doesn't suit like entrepreneurship in the sense of like doing everything on your, like, either, okay, this is the thing, either you have to be willing to take on other people on board or work in teams, or you have to be willing to learn those skills that all those other people would bring. That option 2 is way more exhausting, but you get to keep everything to yourself. So it's like you choose, right? And if you choose working with people, somehow along the way you're going to sacrifice something. And I just like, I got to a point where I didn't want to do either. And I had taken my business as far as like I physically and mentally could. And then I crashed, you know? And I crashed like in the way that I was like, I realized how I was like self-sabotaging and sabotaging my business by not doing it, you know, the way that works. And you know, it's funny because you watch all these, I watched all these YouTube videos and in like influencers, and just like you hear all this stuff, like you have to reach out to people, you have to learn the skills, and like it just all didn't apply to me in my head, you know? And I think part of that is the creative part, and part of that is just like me deciding I wasn't well suited for that environment, you know, or me not wanting to change my ways. And so this is my shout out to all of you. If you are creatives and you're coming to the business world with an idea, first of all, coming to the business world with an idea and no commitment to executing along the way is going to screw you over. It just is. Like, an idea cannot post every day. You know, an idea cannot make money appear. An idea cannot, like, the idea in my head could not get me further along the business. And I know you're going to say, yeah, but it was like, you know, you're inspired and you're motivated, and so that's what gets you to it. And it's like, yeah, but you have to take your physical self and go to those people and find venture capitalists or whatever and find that money. Like, you have to be willing to do that. And somehow the idea felt like the fuel that would do that. And then I realized the idea in my head and me physically were two different things. And so I share this, and I know I'm not the only one out there like that. And so I want to warn you, like, if you are creative thinking that you can take your business idea with no help or with no money and make it something amazing, and you just latch onto that idea, you're going to fail. Like, you're going to fail because you're not, it's like if you try and play basketball using the rules of soccer, you're gonna get kicked out of the game eventually, right? You're gonna like be kicking the ball and they're gonna be like, you can't do that, and you're gonna be like, yes, I can, and then like 5 minutes later they're gonna be like, you're out, you know? And that sounds like a really stupid example, but that is literally exactly what I was trying to do. I was trying to like live real life business, real life entrepreneurship with like a fantasy mindset, with a dream mindset, and like it doesn't work. So how do you change that? Well, you take your physical capability. Let's use the example again of like soccer, playing by the soccer rules in basketball. Okay, so if we take the idea of like trying to play soccer on in a basketball game, like what you have to do is you have to realize what skills you can take from soccer. Like maybe you're really fit and you have endurance, you take those skills and you learn to play basketball. And you know what? If you don't want to learn to play basketball, you get out of the game. And that's like as basic as it comes. And that's exactly what I had to do. I realized like, I mean, I would have been playing basketball because I way prefer basketball to soccer. But if I was playing soccer in that game, I would have left the game. Because that's what I did. I just like, it was, and you know, I shit on myself. Sometimes I'm like, did I just give up? And it's like, yeah, in some way I did. But like, it was also through an exploration of what other things suited me better. And, you know, one of the things I'm going to talk about in a later video is like how I'm a lazy motherfucker and how that's really hindered me, but how I'm like trying to maneuver myself in this world and like make it to something that suits me better. And that's just knowing yourself, you know? So, yeah, you know, along with my cool, wicked ass ideas, there was this vision of me being this like badass businesswoman. And it was like without the acceptance of who I am, like Natalie Glenn as a person, and what am I willing to change or not change. So I want that to be the first video because it's like, that's where you start. Like everything starts with an idea. Some people are able to take that idea and play in the world they exist in, and some people just hold on to that idea so strongly, and you're just gonna struggle to get where you want to go. So someone could listen to this and interpret it as like demotivating, but it's totally not that. It's like motivating in a different way. It's motivating if you're willing to do the work and like that you can make this idea happen, but it's also motivating if you are the person that's exactly like me or mostly like me to like look what else you can do. Like I realized I loved the working on my own, kind of being my own boss concept, and I'm going to talk about that in another video. But I also like doing things on my own. So like I've explored the world of writing and like things that I can like actually execute mostly on my own. And even still along the way somewhere you need help. So if you are a creative wanting to run a business and get to that finish line, whatever that image is in your head, just be warned. You either have to learn the skills by yourself to get there, find something else to do, or get yourself in a team. So I hope this has helped you if you are in that mind frame. That's what I wanted to address today, the creative mindset going into the business world. A creative in the business world. Thank you so much for listening to this. This is Natalie, owner of what was Tray Flavored Cookies, and I will be back with more very soon.